Hi there, you've got a Mark 7 Volkswagen Golf and you're getting water in the rear door. You need to fix it. I'm going to show you how to do it right now. I've never done this before, but I reckon it's going to be easy. You're watching this, it's got to mean this. I couldn't have said it better myself. So what you get in your car is you're getting puddling in this sort of area in the back seat when you take the seats out, and in here I think, where the hell's it coming from? It's actually coming from the speaker in there. So what happens is water flows down through the door, meant to come out the bottom or whatever, but it ends up apparently in that speaker is the issue. So what we've got to do is take this door off and then take the speaker off. So first of all, this has got to come off, and then this reflector gubbins down here. So there is actually in and around here, let me show you, a little gap in there which you can use apparently to prise off that handle. So I happen to have the perfect device here, which is a surfer's wax comb, because that isn't going to damage anything because it's wax, and that comes off as easy as that. So part one done. Okay, so let's see if we can shine a light in there on that and show you what it actually looks like. You can see it's a fancy pants gubbins there, and I don't think that is a regular Allen key, but I'll go and get a regular Allen key and we'll try. We've actually got a little screwdriver set. It's got a full mil in there, so if I click that way, that there should, yep, definitely moving, definitely moving. Easy peasy, easy that time. So I'm just going to get my friend, the trusty wax gubbins, in there again and just slide it in, and then it popped out. Okay, so because that's just a bit of wax on there, so I've got this thing here, it's very flexible, didn't cause any damage. Just trying to push down and release those two nubules there. Okay, so that comes out of there, and then when you look in there, what you'll see is a kind of almost like a long washer that needs to be turned through 90 degrees so that the unit will then slide out. Okay, I don't know if you can see that in there. So there is a unit, a gubbins in there. See if I can hold that up there, which is right in the, if you can bring the torch up a little bit, a bit higher. At the moment it's in a kind of 10 o'clock position, so I've just got to move it so that it's like 12 to 12:30. Next up, in here, there's another one in there we need to move out. Okay, so again, it's the same as the one that was tucked up there. So in the end, we managed to fashion up an extender to the screwdriver thing, which my learned partner has then used, and again, this is, we couldn't get it undone with that other gubbins, it just seemed to slide out, but we got it undone with this one. There's the second gubbins, it's the same as the other. So far we've taken one out that's underneath the arm there, we've taken one out that's up in there, and we've leveled up the one underneath, so that should allow us now to take the door off. Right folks, now is the bit that we all dread the most. We've got to take this whole unit off the door. Now apparently, and I've got a little head torch here, apparently folks, you've got to go slowly catchy monkey, and you've got to get in around these sides here and slowly prise it off. So what I'm going to do, and it looks like it's going to come away anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this one in here and a little bit of brute force. You can see diagrams on the net, and there are about 4 or 5 different locking points there. So it's just a case of applying a little bit of force, but not doing it all in a one. It looks like, so I'm just going to, look at that, I'm just going to go around here bit by bit. So each time I'm moving, I'm probably moving up towards another locking point, which will then come undone, and then another one and another one and another one, and then in the end, apparently you have to lift the door at the very end so that it comes free. So we've got most of these free at the moment, and then of course you've got to make sure you don't let the thing drop, because there are some connections inside for that one, those sorts of things. Okay, electric thing, and a speaker of course as well. Right folks, it's getting darker. Let's have a look along here. It did come out in the end. It just needed a little bit of kind of brute force to some extent, and just a little bit of maneuvering really. So when we're looking behind here now, you can perhaps see, if I shine a torch in there, there's a lot of water in some of the areas in around here, which has just been gathering up really. Right, so first up, if I can get in there, there's a clip down here which I'm just going to have to, if I can shine the torch in there, let's have a look. So I'll undo that one and undo the other two, and these things do push in, so you're gonna have to trust me on that while I do that. I think they just sort of connect in an angle here. Three things that have to come out. So first one is this top one. This was as straightforward as pulling out on the far end there first, so it just literally, we'll do this again if we can. It did pop out, we've popped it back in again, there we go. So just a little bit of technique required, and then it unhinges from this end. So that's the top one done. The middle one's got a couple of little nodules on the side, which are just, you can probably just see them moving there. They're just difficult to get in there. Oh, he's done that, easy as you like. And then the bottom one down here is a really straightforward, hopefully, job there. I think it's the outer unit, so let me have a go on that. I think I can do that pretty easy. There we go folks, as you can see the whole door is saturated. We paid good money to have this repair done previously, and what they've done is they've basically put loads of mastic around here and somehow attached it in there. They put mastic around that one as well. And what we're going to try and do is see where the water's been coming from. That's what it looks like inside, folks. This was that little nodule I was on about. It's just got a vertical member there, so that thing just turns, and you just turn that into a vertical situation for that door to come off. There is our speaker, which we had allegedly repaired previously, so they put loads of silicone sealant around it. Okay folks, on real close inspection, if you can see this, they've put filler in there, but there's a hole in that rivet, and that hole is wet, and you can even see with a camera it almost looks like a bit of rust there. So I'm going to fill that with silicone sealant and see if that does the job. But there's also any of these holes around here, if I can show you, any hole around there, but certainly that bottom one, I need to fill that up. Right folks, so I think we've sussed it. We know that there's some, yeah, that's it. The lad is just like, I've given him the bloody gun, haven't I? Right, we're going to put a bit of silicone sealant in. Let me get something so I can kneel down and not get me clothes as wet as I do this. There we go folks, I'm going to get in the way no doubt, but what I want to do is get some sealant in here where there are rivets, and I'll be honest, we're talking Steve Dog. I've been criticised by a well-loved subscriber about my silicone sealant exploits. He's a very silly man. Basically any of these rivets which have got holes in, I'm putting silicone sealant in, and I'll explain to you the theory behind this. Right folks, so Johnny Squirty Gun, i.e. my able assistant whose car this is, has gone through and he's put loads of sealant around it. It looks ugly, but what he's doing is making sure that no water can come out of anywhere around that speaker. So let me talk to you about the theory behind this. So we're getting water appearing down here. Okay, this is the theory. This may or may not be the case, but I think this is the case. Let me show you. So if you can imagine, the door is in a closed position, and the rain, I'm not going to shut the door at the minute, but when the rain comes down, it's going to hit the glass, it's going to run down the glass down to here, and you're going to get some level of water going in between the gap. They call it a wet door. That's what's meant to happen. So the water's going to come down, hit the glass, get beneath the glass, just get beneath the glass, and it's going to flow to the lowest point. So it's going to run down and potentially cross over onto the inside. When it then comes down the inside, it's running down here into this section here on the inside of the door, and it will ultimately get to the bottom, I think, without taking this seal off, and there's going to be some release holes at the bottom for the water to go by, because when the door is closed there is still a small gap for water to get out. But while it's coming down here, it's just getting drawn as it flows down into these little holes here, and it's just flowing out there when it's coming down. I don't think it's filling up, because if it was, you get water in these areas here. There's nothing through there, so it's not filling up in my mind. It is releasing. It's when it's flowing down, that's what's happening in there. That water then somehow, don't ask me how, but it somehow ends up into this part under the seat. I'm not too worried about the migration of water from there to there, and indeed there's a little bit in the boot. If I can sort this out here, lock, stock and barrel on there, then maybe the problem goes away. If not, we'll go again, okay? As I said, that's a little nobule I have to turn to be in a horizontal position through there to lock it, vertical to unlock, and then we've got the screws that we locked or took out earlier to allow us to release the door panel. So there you go, it could be as easy as that. Right, so a day later, we've had a lot of rain overnight. Last night it's been torrential. This area has actually dried up, so I think our putting our silicone sealant in around the bottom here where one of those rivets was has helped hopefully now solve the problem. Let's give it another couple of days and just double triple check it. When you're reinstalling the door, you have to twist and push down here, because there's apparently there's a little clip there which the door goes over the top of, so you have to push in then push down, and then with brute force really you're going bang 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 all the way around. You then screw it in, one screw under here, a little hole in there, screwing one in that's in behind there. We've now just fixed that one on, and then you're turning that one through so it's not vertical, so it's in horizontal-ish position. And you've just got to use a bit of brute force to try and get it in, because there are clips behind here, and according to some literature I've looked at, it's just brute force. Pretty clumsy, but you get there in the end with a bit of effort. Not the best video, I will admit, but I think it's better than some that are on the net. And we've got a door off and we've done what we've had to do and we put it back on again. Catch you guys on the Volkswagen Smokeswagon flip side. I couldn't have said it better myself.